I'm Brent Phillips, and welcome back for video number 2 of our series on spiritual investing. Today we're going to cover a really key and profoundly powerful concept. This is something that is going to be the key not only to your long-term prosperity, but also your happiness, your health, living a good life, living in a way so you own your money instead of your money owning you. In the first video, we talked a little bit about the principles of spiritual investing and emphasized the critical importance of good investor psychology, mindset, emotional fortitude, right? This is the piece that wipes out 95% of people, why they can't trade well, why they can't invest well. And this key, the subconscious financial thermostat, is exactly what we're going to focus on here. Because if you understand this, you will be ahead of 95% of the world. This is one of your keys to releasing attachment, to staying present, to staying off that emotional roller coaster that wrecks us, especially around money. So what is this thing? Well, I call it the subconscious financial thermostat. And there's other terms for it. I've seen people call it the subconscious financial blueprint or the subconscious template for money. Just lots of words that mean the same thing. Here's the idea. The amount of money you make, the amount of wealth, assets, your net worth, is not determined by your job, or your investments, or your family, or the government, or the lottery, or any of those things. It's really not. Instead, it is determined by the energy inside of you. Specifically, your subconscious belief systems. These incredibly powerful myths and stories that run inside of us that give us our values, that give us a direction in life, that tell us what we like and what we don't like. And so why do I call it the subconscious financial thermostat? Well, here's how it goes. No matter what you do, if you keep yourself, your energy, your behaviors the same, you're going to end up making about the same amount of money no matter what you do. And that may seem crazy at first. You may go, no, Brent, the amount of money I make depends on my job or on my education or how smart I am or who I know or where I live or all these things, right? No, all of those things are wrong. Incorrect. Those things are the delivery vehicles for your money. So your job is a delivery vehicle for your money. Your investments are a delivery vehicle for your money. They're not the source. Why is that? Well, the source of your prosperity is different than the means by which it is delivered. And this is a really key concept because most people have no idea. Most people are trapped in the simplistic logic of cause and effect that, oh, if I get another degree, if I move to a new job, if I get a promotion, if I marry the right person, if I pick the right stock, I'll get rich. Those are the means of delivery, not the source. Let's explain that because, again, this is really critical to your success. Let's talk about delivering a pizza, right? We all know how that works, or at least I hope you do. Ordering delivery pizza, one of life's great joys, especially if you're a young person, right? Lots of great times in college, order a pizza, hang out with your friends, right? Pretty easy. You look up the pizza place, you call them on the phone, right? You place your order. They then send out a guy in a funny little car to come bring the pizza to your door, and you pay him, right? At least that was in the old days. Nowadays we have computers and internet and online ordering and Uber and all that. Let's talk about the old days, right? You called the pizza place, they took your order, they made the pizza, threw it in a box. A guy, usually a guy, could be a girl, of course, right? Usually a teenager, then drives it out to your house, knocks on your door, hands it to you, gets a tip. So that's how it works, right? Easy. Well, notice that the source of the pizza delivery is not the delivery guy. No, he doesn't make the pizza. He doesn't own the restaurant, right? He doesn't get to keep all the money. He just delivers it from the restaurant to your home. The source of the pizza is you calling the pizza place, right? Pretty easy so far. Okay, now let's imagine that the alien mothership lands in your backyard and the aliens come out and you're like, hey guys, it's about time, right? I've been expecting you since 2012. What took you so long? And you invite the aliens to come in and you say, hey, we just ordered a couple pizzas, hang out and we'll share with you. So long story short, these aliens, knowing nothing about Earth culture, they're hanging out in your living room. All they see is a guy in a funny little car, drives up to your place, gets out, carries a little box, knocks on your door. You answer the door, he gives you the pizza, you give him some money, right? So the aliens try it and they go, oh my gosh, we love Earth pizza. This stuff is delicious, right? But notice the alien doesn't know that you called the pizza place. All they saw was that you're sitting around and you were hungry, and a guy in a funny little car drove up, handed you a box, and in it was pizza. So the next day the aliens leave and they're hanging out, right? And they get hungry. And they think, hey, that Earth pizza we had last night, that was delicious. Let's get some more, right? But remember, they don't know anything about the pizza place or the phone. All they know is a guy in a funny little car drives up to your home, hands you a box full of pizza. So the alien, not knowing any better, the aliens run off and start scouring your neighborhood, trying to find a guy in a pizza delivery car to get food. Now, that's not going to work very well, is it? Of course not. You might have some success. You might get lucky, right? They might flag down a pizza delivery guy, and they might threaten him or bribe him or seduce him to get them a pizza. But that's not going to work very well, is it? Right? They may be outside for hours. They may never see a pizza delivery car, right? They have no idea how it works. And here's the key. Those aliens trying to find pizza, they have confused the source of pizza with the means of delivery. And because they don't understand the source, they're doing everything they can to manipulate the means of delivery to get what they want. What they don't know is the source of the pizza is calling the pizza place, right? But they don't know about that. So they spend all their time and energy trying to chase around a guy in a pizza delivery car, trying to get pizza. Not very effective, right? That's the point. This is what I want you to see. The source of your income, your prosperity, your wealth is not your job, your family, your investments, your government benefits, the lottery, whatever, right? Those are simply means of delivery. But most of us have no idea that there's a distinction. The means of delivery is the job, the investments, etc., right? Your energy, what is inside of you, your subconscious belief systems, that is the source. The trouble is, just like the aliens running around your neighborhood trying to find a pizza delivery car, if you totally focus on manipulating the means of delivery, you're going to get terrible results. It's going to be really hard to get a lot of money. Just like it's going to be tough for those aliens chasing around a Domino's car to get lots of pizza, right? Good luck with that. But I want you to shift your focus away from the means of delivery to the source. And again, the source is you, your energy, your consciousness, your beliefs, your behaviors. And if you know where to look, you'll see this all over the place in life. As an example, you've probably heard that most lottery winners lose most or all of their money, usually within 5 years. How much it happens depends on where you look. I've seen anywhere on the low side 40% to on the high side 80%. It's really fascinating. I had a client once who was a multi-million-dollar lottery winner. They had won millions of dollars in the lottery, but they lost all of it. And I'm not going to gossip about the details, but let me just say it was a perfect storm of circumstances that no one could have understood or foreseen or prepared for, involving 9/11 and some frozen bank accounts and things like that, right? So long story short, my client was not stupid. They were not foolish. They didn't do anything obviously wrong or dumb or immature. They had an accountant, they had a lawyer, they knew how to say no, right? And they still lost all the money. What's going on there? Well, I can tell you, it's not because all lottery winners are idiots. Some are, of course, right? But not all of them are. In fact, in California, they actually instituted a program where if you win a big lottery prize, they actually make you go through a series of trainings to ensure that you don't lose the money right away. They make sure you get with a reputable accountant and a tax lawyer, that you set aside money for taxes, that you think about long-term investments, that you don't just go out and blow it all, right? And they thought, oh, if we make people go through training, then they won't lose their money. Nope, didn't make much of a difference. Even with good training that was mandatory, lottery winners are still losing most or all of their money, usually within 5 years. And that 5 years is really key, really important to what we're going to be talking about here. Another good example would be professional athletes. I've read that professional football players in the NFL, the highest level professional football league in the world, American football, the average salary for a rookie is something like $600,000. So I think the minimum is like $450,000. So every single person in the league is making at least $450,000 a year. That's pretty good, right? You think I could live on that? I think I could live on that, right? Between 50 to 80% of professional football players go bankrupt within 5 years of retirement. And again, it's not because they're stupid. The fact is, to play American football professionally, you have to be smart. It's a total misnomer that football players are dumb. No, they're big and strong. They're not dumb. The defenses and the strategies are extremely complex. You have to have some kind of head on your shoulders to play the game at that level. So they're not stupid, they're not ignorant, but they don't have the subconscious programming. Their thermostat is set low. Why? Most professional football players come from poor areas. They come from the inner city. They come from poor rural areas. Not all, right? Most of them never had the programming to be wealthy. We see this with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's book. Great example again, right? He had a rich dad and a poor dad. He learned to see the difference. If you only had poor middle-class parents, you probably have a poor to middle-class financial thermostat. You can change that, right? That's what I'm here to tell you. You can change that by doing the inner work, by clearing subconscious blocks, by filling yourself with the quantum field, with the process of awakening, with manifestation from a theta wave. There's a lot of things you can do. And those are things I cover in my trainings and weekend intensives and one-on-ones and my VIP club events. So I got lots of stuff to help you there, right? For right now, I just want to drill home that the amount of money you make over time has nothing to do with your investments, your job, your education, how smart you are, where you live, who you know, nothing. It's all about what is inside of you. I found this out for myself. When I was working in software in the 90s, it's interesting that the salary I had before I had to go on disability was identical to the penny to the first full-time salary I took after I got my healing business off the ground. Over 7 years later, I made exactly the same amount of money doing healing as I had in software. That's not a coincidence, right? That wasn't intentional on my part. It's just how it shook out. And that shows us there is a thermostat, right? You're gonna make about the same amount of money no matter what you do. So you might as well do something you enjoy that fulfills you, right? Of course. And so I also want to talk quickly about why we call it a thermostat. So, okay, so you get that the amount of money you make really comes from within, right? Your behaviors, the way you think, your perspectives. And we can see this. There are certain people, for example, Elon Musk or Richard Branson, people like that. It seems like everything they touch turns to gold, right? You look at Elon Musk. He had founded not one, not two, but 3 multi-billion-dollar companies by the time he was, what, 45 or whatever? Amazing, right? What is that? Is that he's smarter than everyone else? No. He has great wiring. He has a really high thermostat. So if you've got a high thermostat, you can go into almost any situation and find a way to make money. If you have a low thermostat, you're going to lose money and get screwed no matter how smart or clever you are or how good the opportunity. Even if you make the money, you'll tend to lose it. And that was my story too, right? I was always able to make money, but I'd make this large amount of money and lose it all. It would be stolen from me. I've been victimized by a con artist. I've gone bankrupt. I was victimized by my best friend. And I use victimize in the conventional sense, right? Of course, at the end of the day, we're all one. There are no victims. We're all the source of our life. But just in terms of what happened, right? So my thing was I could make money, but I couldn't keep it. And it's funny that when I went bankrupt, the amount of money I lost in my bankruptcy, I was back at that same point almost exactly 5 years later. There's that 5 years again, right? There's something magical about that. That the thermostat works over a 5-year period. So you can temporarily go above or below your setting, right? You win the lottery, you get a big inheritance, you get a big windfall. That happens. But if you're not wired for that money, if it pushes you above your thermostat, you'll get dragged down. On the flip side, if you have less money than you're programmed for, the universe will send you more. It has to. This is a law of the universe. So when I went bankrupt, I was broke as crap for certainly the next 6 months or so. I didn't have enough money to go see a movie or buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It was really embarrassing. I had a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I was really hated myself for that. But it didn't take that long before I was making money again. And it's really interesting. I started making more money than I ever had before, right up to the point where I had made back all the money I lost in the bankruptcy. And then things evened out. Crazy, right? Again, this is a law of the universe. And so why do I call it a thermostat? Pretty simple. Others have called this the subconscious financial blueprint, that you have a blueprint inside of you in your subconscious that determines how much money you make. That's correct. But I call it a thermostat because a blueprint can't be changed. A thermostat can. With the technology we have, with awakening dynamics, with the block clearing, the downloads, the manifesting, the quantum field work, you can change that setting. And so how does the thermostat work? It's pretty simple, right? You probably have one in your home. You set it for whatever temperature you like. Let's say 72 degrees, right? If it gets much warmer than that, the air conditioning kicks on and cools it back, right? If it gets much colder than that, the heat turns on and warms it up. Pretty easy, right? Does it mean that the temperature is always exactly 72 degrees? Of course not, right? Maybe you go away for the weekend and it's winter and you live in a cold area and you leave a window open. Oops, right? I did that once when I lived in Boston. It was freezing inside. It was 40 degrees in the house when we got home, right? Well, don't panic. That's a temporary disruption, right? If you come home and it's 40 degrees in your apartment, no worries. Turn on the heat, right? It'll take some time. When you turn on the heater, it doesn't instantly become 70. No. But it starts pushing heat into your living space to slowly warm up the temperature. Then, once you get to your thermostat setting, the heat turns off. Same thing if it gets too hot or too cold, right? If it gets really hot, you turn on the air and it slowly lowers the temperature back. This is how the thermostat works. In the subconscious, that's why I call it the subconscious financial thermostat. That if you're making less money than you're wired for in your subconscious, the universe has no choice but to start sending you more, right? The heat comes on and raises your setting. If you have more money than you're programmed for example, if you win the lottery and your subconscious isn't ready for that wealth, the universe has infinite ways at its disposal to take it from you, right? Crooked accountant, investment scam, bad luck, natural disaster, company going bankrupt, right? Theft, burglary, insurance fraud, we can go on and on. Accident, illness, divorce, lawsuit, again, millions of ways, billions of ways. But just know at the end of the day, you're going to make about the same amount of money because of you. You may go up or down, right? But within 5 years, you'll be back right around your thermostat setting. Last piece here, this is so critical. This is what I want you to take away. In terms of your investments, any one particular opportunity or process has zero long-term impact on your finances. Zero. Why? The amount of money you have over time is governed by your thermostat. So let's say that you got really jealous of your friends because they bought Bitcoin in 2010 and you didn't. Well, it's okay, right? If you're supposed to have millions of dollars, the universe will give it to you one way or another. So if you missed out on buying Amazon in 1998, if you missed out on Bitcoin in 2011, if you missed out on Netflix and whatever, right? Whatever the big opportunity is, don't panic. Because either you're meant to have the money, in which case it'll show up through another means, right? Another opportunity will present itself. Don't worry, within 5 years, you'll be exactly where you're supposed to be in terms of your thermostat, right? Or if you had made the money and gone above your setting, then the universe would just take it from you. And honestly, if I had to choose between making a lot of money and having it ripped away from me in some painful, traumatic process versus just never having it, I would pick never having it. Because I've made and lost lots of money before. Losing it is a lot more painful than winning it. Making it is fun, at least in this guy's opinion, right? But remember, any one opportunity has no impact on you long term. Because if you get money you're not supposed to have that's above your thermostat, you'll lose it. If you miss out on an opportunity and you're below your thermostat setting, the universe has no choice but to give you another chance. More opportunities will show up. So I hope you can see this is so critical to releasing attachment. Because most of us think, oh gosh, I missed the Bitcoin run up, I missed Amazon, I missed Overstock, I missed Tesla, right? Don't worry about that. Any one of those opportunities doesn't change anything over the long run because it's ultimately all coming from inside you. And if you really want to make a lot of money and keep it and have a higher quality of life, you got to change what's inside. Stock tips, crypto, real estate, none of that is going to make a difference over the long term. You just lose it if you weren't meant to have it. So focus on yourself, work on your prosperity from the inside out, and you'll be rewarded with a lifetime of money and success and prosperity. I hope that makes sense. Brent Michael Phillips signing off here. This is the end of video number 2, and we'll be back more in our series on spiritual investing. If you haven't done so yet, please click like, please click subscribe, and if you haven't done my spiritual power quiz, make sure you hop over to my website, awakeningdynamics.com. I do lots of live events. Come meet me. We'll do some processes together. I can answer your questions. And check out the spiritual power quiz to find out what your secret spiritual power is and start applying it to make more money. Until next time, goodbye, take care, and namaste.